Hello, I'm not entirely sure I'm in the right place, but it's the only locked door I can find, so I'm just going to assume that whatever's on the other side of this gate, or whatever it is the way to go. Hello? Meow? Meow?
There's nothing left for us here.
Meow. You have food and water and you got petted. I love you. Anyway. Let's see. Oh yeah, went to the YouTube conference yesterday here in Austin. I could not stay for the whole thing because of real life, but I did go for the...
Here.
Yes. Let's see what's in the gym. Alright. I don't shower when I go to the gym. Because I don't go to the gym. Great, eh? Anyway, I made it to the YouTube conference.
There's nothing
met
left
a lot
for
of
us here.
a lot of cool people. Is there anything in here? No, there was nothing in here. I admit that was a bit of a jump cut, but there was absolutely nothing in the gymnasium. Anyway, interrupted myself again and again. I made it to the YouTube conference, met a bunch of cool people, heard some things I didn't know, and I had a pretty damn good time. It was
Dormitory.
awesome.
This is where they had all those disappearances.
Yeah, it smells like a morgue.
Dear Lord.
Yeah, let's not be equipping the bat in here. Anyway, my only real petty complaint is it was a little cramped. There were too many people for the tiny conference room they crammed us in. And I can't even really call that a justified complaint because shooting. Anyway, because it was barely overcrowded. There were like half a dozen people standing, so even the next size up of conference room would have had wasted space. I don't know. It just didn't feel like a setup by a multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar company when Google owns YouTube.
Wow.
And
I'm ready
the
to
YouTube
rock.
conference was stuffed into a small conference room in the Google offices here in Austin. I'm not saying you have to spend like a demon, but when you can't rent even a small conference space for your, YouTube is their big, huge... Well, no, Google itself is bigger than YouTube, probably. But you get my point, I think, at least, even if I'm not very good at articulating it. I got a disc. Ooh, no... Okay, those are newspapers referring to the disappearances.
There's something else.
Your mom is something else.
There's nothing left for us here.
Pistolero. Alright. Anyway. Like I said, shuffling us into a conference room with very clearly, blocked off, don't go down this hallway because this is our office and there's still people working here. It just, I'm on the fence. It feels a little bit cut corner, but also it feels disingenuous to demand that they spend on bigger accommodations. So I guess, much like many of the issues I confront myself...
This lock looks easy.
Your mom looks easy. Like many of the issues I confront myself, I can't wholly side either way. Loot. Ooh, energy drink. Alright. Anyway. I don't have any other... Ooh, statue? Oh, look, there's a statue nowhere near the hole. Just statuing. Yeah, I don't remember the line exactly. Anyway, I did have a wonderful time. I met some awesome people. And when I say I met awesome people, I mean pretty much everybody I talked to was pretty damn cool. I spent my time at the actual conference part of the meeting sitting next to a man who has his own evangelical channel.
There's nothing left for us here.
And it was
There's nothing
probably
left
one
for
of the
us
most
here.
pleasant conversations, what we did talk about, I've had in weeks, at least with a complete stranger.
I just know there's something else.
I am not a believer myself, but there is a huge mungazoid. Yes, I made up a word. There is a humongous backlash. I'm not sure I went in here because I'm talking too much. A humongous backlash just because somebody is religious. You know, we're automatically going to lump them in with Fat Beard Red Hat Man or let's see, Hammy Ham, who claims that his magical Ark Park will somehow rival Disney World, when, you know, there are the main draw of such a park is going to be believers, and even then there's going to be a large number of believers of his very same faith, of his very same God, who don't want to support him.
There's still something left.
Because he's one of the... Whoa! Crap! He is one of the people who says the horrible things that has more or less led to this instant gut-wrenching backlash. Another example would probably be Mrs. Tropes versus Women. Anita whatever. Yeah, I know her name. I'm just not... I don't agree with... Okay, I agree with about 30% of the stuff she says, but I honestly feel like she finds one or two topics worth talking about that are possibly valid examples of, you know, misogyny imbalance, and then has to
there's something else.
Fluff out the rest of the video with, if not completely invalid, then significantly less substantial, and admittedly sometimes completely invalid and made up, filler. I think it would be safe to say that I agree with roughly 30% of what she says.
There's nothing left for us here.
Light grenade, pick me up. But the issue that I'm bringing her up for in comparison to the previous one is, again, the rabid hate backlash. I mean, she deserves to be ignored and possibly even mocked, but when there are people willing to utterly dismiss the fact that she gets death threats and rape threats and her face edited into pornography...
There's nothing left for us here.
Yeah, there's nothing left for us there. There is no argument left for there. Seriously. I am not defending her point of view.
Okay, it's recorded.
But I would happily defend her physically from people who want to threaten her into silence.
We've got to find an antidote. I don't feel so good. This lock looks easy.
One of the downsides of free speech, at least according to people who disagree, is that everybody gets free speech. That's part of it. I'm not actually saying it's a downside. I'm using it as a humorous example. Humorous turn of words. Hello? Alright,
I just know there's something else.
Okay, no, it is not safe. What the hell? Alright. Shooting. Killing.
Hurts.
Dying. Yeah, that did not happen. What you are seeing right now is not happening. You are highly delusional. I did not even enter this room. There is something wrong with you if you think otherwise. Something wrong with your eyes. As you can clearly see, I just entered the room and I'm fine. Where was I? I kind of avoid being overly topical or current events, but seriously, the fact that people will backlash violently and aggressively against people who do not share their point of view has been going on long enough throughout human history that the idea of considering it topical is...
I know there's something else.
...a joke. Medkit! Alright. I think it's
There's
funny
nothing
that I'm
left for us here.
short on little heals, but I've got so many heavy heal medkits that I probably would not be able to logically transport them all without a backpack, logically. And if I... yeah, as long as I'm listing things that people overreact to, let's go ahead and go with...
There's nothing left for us here.
Mr. Toupee, Trumpkins. There's this automatic desire to lash out at people who support him. Although I guess that's possibly only fair given
This doesn't look too steady.
Oh, crap. Broken floor. Broken floor. Not sure what to expect. Walking away, looking around. There are cracks in the floor. Avoiding the cracks, and I made it. Alright. This was totally my first pass through this hallway, and you did not...
There's something else to do here.
And I did not remove a frustrating incidents where I kept falling through the floor over and over and over again, thinking it was a floor locations thing. Die. One shot. Okay. Where was I? Oh, like I said, I did not edit out multiple
There's
deaths
something else to do
before I
here.
finally figured out that you just walk slowly over it. That was, I don't know why you would suggest such a thing. But anyway, I just don't see why there's this automatic hostility towards certain viewpoints that people don't agree with. It's like very few people get violent over disagreements of pizza toppings. Can I push this?
There's something else to do here.
People rarely come to blows or even shouting or insults over whether they prefer Chrysler or Honda. But
Chew on this!
there's a reason why religion and politics have both been banned from civil discussion. That being, it gets uncivil real fast, and it's almost intrinsic to have a knee-jerk reaction to it for some people. Alright, I'm going to figure out this damn wardrobe. It wouldn't be a pushable object if I couldn't slide it. It doesn't actually
This lock
seem to
looks
be
easy.
blocking anything. Okay, why are you over there, meathead? I'm gonna just have to do this myself because my lockpick guy is far away and too stupid to figure out how to come down a little section of hallway. I didn't tell him to stay here. He's just doing it on his own. Anyway, my point is there's certain knee-jerk things like
There's
religion,
nothing left for us here.
feminism, politicism, ismism.
There's
Where-
nothing left for us here.
We just want to get all hostile. And, yeah, no, not the broken floor. I don't like the broken floor. Hello, get away from me. Or I get away from you. I can't tell the floor to get away from me, but I can get me away from the floor. And also that dust falling from the ceiling made me think something was coming at me. Alright. Something needs to be done about the knee-jerk
There's nothing left for
hostility.
us here.
The trigger effects. And no, that is not my way of saying, ooh, a flu. Your mom's a flu. I have no idea why I keep repeating the your mom joke this time. It usually only comes up every once in a while. There needs to be a way to just, you know, have civil discussion about just about anything. But there are people that I technically agree with, or at least technically am on the same side with, who I don't want to be lumped in or associated with because of how they present their crap. And are there cracks in that wall behind me? Because there seems to be light coming through that wall. And I already tried pushing the wardrobe from the other direction, so I'm not entirely sure what it wants me to do. I mean, my first thought is to try to tip it into that cracked wall and break through it, but I already messed around on that side and it didn't work. So I am perplexulated. Confusified. Wobble-bobbled. Alright. Let us deal with this stupid cracked wall the old-fashioned way. Nope. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Okay, so I just had to be standing in the exact right friggin' spot. Screw you, coders. Screw you. Also, if there were enemies in here, I would be very pissed off, because how the hell did they get into this sealed off room? Ooh. Following the conference in Seattle, where your publications, and particularly your work entitled Eternal Life is Possible, were the subject of much discussion, the experts examined your research. As it was generally accepted, the use of your knowledge cannot be controlled, nor can the ecological, social, and ethical consequences of your discoveries in the field of life be measured. We had to reach a decision on the maintenance or not of the research budgets. What safeguard can be imposed against the eugenic temptations foreseen by your hypothesis? Sacrificing the enrichment of breeding for the benefit of artificial and very certainly contagious life cannot receive our support. The contribution of your work to the knowledge of individual characteristics is one thing, but modifying the transmission of these characteristics by such inhuman means is another. As a consequence, the Office of Technology in Congress, in agreement with the International Scientific Commission, has issued a report ruling on your expulsion for life from the community. We will be required to legislate on the archiving or destruction of your research for cellular prolongation. Yes, because we think it is a very good idea to send an antagonistic "we're shutting you down" letter to a man who is breeding contagious mutant monsters. That has never ended poorly in the history of ever. Because reasons. I don't know. In conclusion, no resistance. Blah, blah, blah. Hard to read. No resistance will be allocated to you. Your equipment and all your work will be confiscated and resold. Sworn state agency will arrive on the 8th of October to seal up the premises. As regards to Leafmore High School, a commission will decide on the necessity of closing it. Yours, etc., blah, blah, blah. Now, seriously, what made this guy think it was a good idea? You do not send the mad scientist a cease and desist letter. You idiot. You raid the compound with a lot of well-armed agents with guns. You put down what you can, and you capture who you can. That's how this works.
I know there's something else.
What is this? Disc. Oh, what's that? What am I holding? No button puts it down. I don't want this.
There's nothing left for us here.
What is this? I don't want this. Is that a Is it safe? Is it safe?
There's nothing left for us here.
Yeah, it's totally safe. Is it safe? Yeah, and me repeating the gag over and over again is just confusing the people who didn't watch the Clerks cartoon. For a moment I was confused whether it was in the cartoon or the movies. But this was very clearly a case of who is driving, bear is driving, how can this be? Alright, I'm not entirely sure what to do with this dead weight. I cannot put it down. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and call it here for right now. Thank you very much for watching. Love, luck, and lollipops. Please, if you have a moment, like, comment, or subscribe. I can't force you, but it really does help me out on, like, search algorithms and whatnot. Nope, nope, nope. Not carrying heavy safe over fragile floor. No. Big no. No. Capital N, small O. No.